Okay, well, I'll go ahead and make another order.
But I didn't really know what came in. I didn't
So
get the
thanks
story
for your patience.
And this is our hard-working organizer right here, Mike Schroeder. Say hi, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Right.
Welcome to our 30th Monday Without Meuser.
Woo! Okay, you want to use the cordless one there? Here, let me get you.
Are we live?
Yes, we're live right now.
We're live.
Check 1, 2.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, good to be back.
Welcome back to our 30th Monday Without Dan Meuser. Give yourselves a round of applause. Genuine patriots here in defense of our constitutional democratic republic. Dan, did you hear that, Dan? Because we're here to tell you to do your job, Dan. Do your job, Dan. Do your job. Thank you. Welcome back. Let me just begin, as we always do, by reminding you and everybody else that this is a peaceable assembly in exercise of our First Amendment rights. We have peaceable assembly guidelines that ask us to please not engage with any counter-protesters or agitators that show up. Right? Ignore them. We have safety marshals whose job is to de-escalate any potential conflict with antagonistic passersby. Jeff, I think you would make a great safety marshal. Who else would like? Tom over here is a safety marshal. Gary is a safety marshal. Jeff, holding the big sign there, serves as a safety marshal. So thank you for that. Thank you for adhering to our peaceable assembly guidelines. Let me also begin, as we do, by reading this poem on why we are here. And your job is to say, and I spoke up. This is a poem that is built on the World War II Holocaust poem that came out of Nazi Germany. First, they came for the immigrants and refugees, and I spoke up. Because immigrants and refugees are our neighbors. Then they came for transgender people.
And I spoke up.
Because transgender people are our neighbors. Then they came for the poor and the vulnerable.
And I spoke up.
Because the poor and the vulnerable are our neighbors. Then they came for the aid workers, the federal workers, and the civil servants.
And I spoke up.
Because they too are our neighbors. Then they came for the students and the teachers and the universities.
And I spoke up.
Because they too are our neighbors. And then they came for us. And we spoke up. Because we are here together. And we are called to love all our neighbors, no exceptions. No exceptions. Thank you. And thank you to Bridget Moy for writing this, and to Terry Woodnorth for sharing it and asking that we use it as our weekly opening. Thank you, Terry. Let's also begin by saying the Pledge of Allegiance, shall we? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We are here because we love our country, and we are incensed and outraged and saddened at the destruction of our democratic constitutional republic. Make no mistake, authoritarianism is here, it's now, it's happening. We are living through and experiencing in real time a fascist authoritarian takeover of our beloved country and of the U.S. government. Every week, we see a new set of authoritarian outrages from this lawless regime, while Dan Meuser tries to gaslight us with his insulting newsletters, telling us that, for instance, the big, beautiful bill represents fiscal responsibility. I mean, we know that's false. We know that's just a lie, and yet he just keeps repeating it. How is it possible that these folks are turning reality upside down and they think we're so ignorant and so stupid that we're going to believe it? Just this past week, and this is just in the past week, I'm going to summarize what I put in my email. And by the way, if you did not get an email yesterday, that means effectively you are not on the email list. Karen is the keeper of the email list here. So please give your email, name, and email and municipality to Karen here if you did not get an email yesterday. So this is highlights just from last week. Just from last week. The intensification of the weaponization of the Justice Department by indicting former FBI Director James Comey. Boo! That is crazy. And threatening to indict many other of Trump's political enemies, including John Bolton, with the big mustache, Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, who indicted Donald Trump, Adam Schiff, who led the impeachment proceedings, and others. And I sent a link yesterday to the top story in the New York Times inside the Trump administration's push to prosecute James Comey.
Hey, Mike, he's coming after everybody with a mustache.
Everybody? Is that why you shaved, Gary? There you go. Everybody with a mustache.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for that, Gary. I better shave. Actually, I'm not going to shave, just as an act of defiance. And I want to thank Bev Andrews for sending and sharing the powerful statement by Representative Hank Johnson from 4th District in Georgia to Chief Justice Roberts. Democracy under a Category 6 Code Red 6-alarm fire, which I think is exactly right. So thank you, Bev. Thank you, Bev, for sharing that. Last week, Karen and I went to Philadelphia, to the Constitution Center, to listen to Amy Coney Barrett talk about her new book. And I got to tell you, I was not impressed by Amy Coney Barrett. She utterly fails to see the moment. It seems that... Thank you. She is blind, it seems to me, to the urgency of the moment and the constitutional crisis we are experiencing right now. And this adherence to this outdated, obsolete, doctrine of originalism and original intent, it's so dusty and moldy and old. And, it is handing power to this Trump regime in a way that is completely deplorable. So.
Don't get too far away from the speaker.
Oh, too far away. Okay. And then last week as well, Donald Trump issues an executive order designating Antifa as a terrorist threat. I mean, we all know Antifa actually doesn't exist as an organization, right? And even though there is no federal law defining in statute domestic terrorism or defining domestic terrorists. But I got to tell you, there's a kind of a funny sort of side note to this, which is that one of the chief judges here in the courthouse is Judge Bradford Charles. Well, his son, Nate Charles, runs a blog called The Rule of Law Brief. He's an attorney. And so Nate Charles has a blog, has a YouTube channel, and he announced a couple days ago that he is founding a Maryland Antifa chapter. An Antifa Maryland. Because it doesn't exist as an organization, the hell with it. I'm gonna form Antifa Maryland and apply for a 501c3. So that's what he's doing. The son of Bradford Charles, Nate Charles, is applying for a 501c3 for Antifa Maryland. Got me thinking maybe we should form Antifa Lebanon County. What do you think? Why not? I actually asked on his blog in the comment, we're thinking of doing that here in Lebanon County. Can you help us with the paperwork for the 501c3? So we'll see. Maybe we'll form, in addition to Lebanon Indivisible, maybe we'll form Lebanon Antifa, because you know what Antifa stands for, right?
Anti-fascist.
That's right. Think of, the greatest generation 80 years ago fighting to defeat fascism in Europe, to defeat Adolf Hitler in Germany and the Nazi Party, and Benito Mussolini and the fascists in Italy, and the fascists or proto-fascists in Japan. Right? So this is a fight that was fought 80 years ago. Millions of Americans and tens of millions of people around the world defeating fascism, and now it rears its ugly head, and there's an organization that is actually not even an organization, a movement, a sentiment that is anti-fascist, and that's designated as a domestic terror organization. It's absolutely outrageous. He's also, as you know, the most recent thing is threatening to send military troops to Portland, Oregon. So-called, what do you think about that? What do you think about sending federal troops to Portland, Oregon to put down an imaginary insurrection? So-called war ravaged Portland, it is fascist. In response, the Oregon governor, Tina Kotek, told Trump and Kristi Noem to stay away. Portland is doing just fine, she says. I made that very clear to the president. We got this. We are doing fine. There is no insurrection. We do not need, we do not want federal troops in Oregon. And that's still pending. So far, he sent federal troops to Los Angeles in violation of the Constitution. Federal troops to Washington, D.C., which technically is probably not illegal given its peculiar status. But certainly sending federal troops to Portland, Oregon would be a direct violation of the law of the Posse Comitatus Act of the 19th century. Thank you. And so Nate Charles, the son of Bradford Charles, has charged Donald Trump with treason.
Yeah.
He said this is treason. It's the highest crime. It's high crimes and misdemeanors, and demands the impeachment of Donald Trump. We'll see where that goes. Dan, how do you feel about the impeachment of Donald Trump? Do your job, Dan. Do your job, Dan. Do your job. And then, of course, Donald Trump insulted the whole world at the United Nations. Oh, your countries are going to hell. It was a deranged rant for about 50 minutes. You know, it makes you want to hang your head in embarrassment at the ridiculous antics of this administration. And then the other thing, last week, making the announcement that Tylenol causes autism. These ridiculous assertions. Our nation's public health infrastructure is being destroyed as we speak under crackpot RFK Jr., and he is literally a crackpot with half his brain eaten by a brainworm. And then the last thing I'll mention here, and this is from yesterday's, I read it in yesterday's Patriot News, is the federal government is suing Pennsylvania, is suing your Commonwealth. Why? To get your voter information. This is from Penn Live. The Justice Department is suing Pennsylvania and 5 other states over access to voters' personal information. Part of an ongoing dispute between the Trump administration and some states over what legal authority the feds have. So that's just the highlights from last week. Okay, so every week, every day, we have a new set of outrages. So that's why we're here, in defense of our democratic republic, to demand that Dan Meuser, thank you, that do your job, Dan. Do your job, Dan. Do your job. We have a No Kings protest and rally coming up on Saturday, October 18th. Woo! Right down the block here in Veterans Park. As of this morning, I just checked, 77 people have signed up through the Mobilize app. So if you haven't signed up and you can make it, please sign up on the link I sent around. We're still waiting for the mayor's office to respond. I submitted the public assembly permit application 2 weeks ago today, and they're slow walking it, maybe in hopes that we won't advertise, but we're advertising it anyway. Followed by Hershey Indivisible. So the one here in Lebanon County is going to be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. over here in Veterans Park, that people can take a little break. And Hershey Indivisible is planning a protest and rally in Hershey. The exact details and the exact time yet to be determined, but it's within the window of around 3:30, 4 o'clock. So it'll be a little. I think Terry might have an update. That's right. It'll be in the afternoon, so you can go vote. So it'll be an hour or two after our protest ends, so you can go take a break, have some lunch, and then go on the second protest. Also, Hershey Indivisible has last week organized 3 postcard writing events to retain Pennsylvania judges. As you know, the right-wing extremists are blanketing Pennsylvania with millions of dollars worth of propaganda, saying, oh, we need term limits on judges, oh, these left-wing judges. This is all nonsense. This is a really important election. Fair Districts PA put out a press release connecting the importance of the judgeship retentions to redistricting. So all these things are bound up together. So Hershey Indivisible, Fair Districts PA, Mondays with Meuser, Lebanon County Indivisible, and maybe Lebanon County Antifa. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should do it. I love the enthusiasm. Last thing is, the letters to Meuser, we keep walking around the courthouse at the end of each protest to hand deliver letters to Dan Meuser. How many of you actually received responses from Dan Meuser, which I ask for every week? Kathleen did. Anybody else? I have not received anything. Lynn, you did? Oh, you didn't? Okay, so... Well, it's just going to be filled with crap anyway. But keep those letters coming, because the more they stack up, the more they see that their constituents are concerned and ticked off and paying attention. The better for all. So I think that's it in terms of our announcements here. So let me turn to our co-organizer. Hey, Laura, welcome. Good to see you again.
All right.